Dear student, today I will discuss some basic facts related chapter Women, Caste and Reform. Indian society had been a prey of many evil practices for a long time. Men and women were treated differently. Women were subjected to many restrictions. They were not allowed to go to school. They were not allowed to choose their husbands. Child marriage was an established custom in the society. Most children were married off at an early age. Both Hindu and Muslim men could marry more than one wife. In some parts of the country, sati was in practice. Those widows were praised who chose death by burning themselves on the funeral pyre of their husbands. Women's right to property were also restricted. One more evil practice that had crept Indian society was that all people did not enjoy equal status. The upper caste consisted of Brahman and Kshatriyas availed all privilege. But other than these people were subjected to exploitations. The untouchables who did not manual work were considered polluting. They were not allowed to enter temples, draw water from the well used by the upper caste. They were seen as inferior human beings. These evil customs and practices had eclipsed the progress of society. Hence, debates and discussion began to take place from the early 19th century with the development of new forms of communications. For the first time, books, newspapers, magazines, leaflets, and pamphlets were printed. They spread awareness among the common mass. Social reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar came forward and took initiative to bring changes in society by abolishing the evil practices one after another. Raja Ram Mohan Rai was a great social reformer. He moved to see the tyranny of old practices that were deeply rooted in the Indian society. Burning of widows on the funeral pyre of their husbands was one such old practice which Ram Mohan Rai felt needed to be rooted out immediately. He began a campaign against this as he had deep knowledge of Sanskrit, Persian, and several other Indian and European languages. He tried to show through his writings that the practice of sati had no sanction in ancient texts. He got support from the British officials who had also begun to criticize Indian traditions and customs by the early 19th century. Finally, in 1829, the practice of sati was banned. The strategy adopted by Ram Mohan Rai was used by later reformers as well whenever they wished to challenge a practice that seemed harmful. They tried to find a verse or sentence in the ancient sacred text that supported their point of view. He wanted to spread Western education in the country. He advocated for women education. He strongly disapproved the system of sati. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was a great social reformer. He favored widow remarriage. British officials supported his cause and passed a law in 1856 that permitted widows to remarry. Swami Dayanand Saraswati, founder of Arya Samaj, also supported widow remarriage. These reforms felt that in order of improve the condition of women, it was necessary to educate them. For this purpose, several schools were opened for girls by the efforts of Vidyasagar and other reformers. People reacted sharply against sending girls to schools. Hence, they were taught at homes throughout the 19th century. In aristocratic Muslim families in North India, women learned to read the Quran in Arabic. They were taught by women who came home to teach. Muslim women like the Begums of Bhopal did a lot for the promotion of education among the women. They set up a primary school for girls at Aligarh. Begum Ruqayya Shekhawat Hussain also opened schools for Muslim girls in places like Patna and Calcutta. By the 1880s, Indian women began to take university education. Some of them trained to be doctors, while some became teachers. Many women began to write and publish their critical views on the status of women in society. For instance, Tarabai Shinde published a book named Istri Purush Tulna. Tarabai Shinde was a woman who got education at home at Pune. She is better known for publishing a book named Istri Purush Tulna, meaning a comparison between women and men. She in this book criticizes the social differences between men and women. Pandita Ramabai was a great scholar of Sanskrit. She found Hinduism very oppressive towards women and wrote a book about the pathetic condition of Hindu women belonging to upper caste. She started a widow's home at Pune to provide shelter to widows who had been maltreated by their husbands' relatives. Here women were given training to make them self-dependent. By the second half of the 19th century, people from within the lower castes began to raise voice against caste discrimination. They organized movements against this practice and demanded social equality and justice. The Satnami movement became famous in central India. It was initiated by Ghasidas, who came from a low caste, worked among the leather workers, and organized a movement to improve their social status. In eastern Bengal, Haridas Thakur's sect worked among low caste Chandela cultivators. Haridas questioned Brahminical texts that supported the caste discrimination. Sri Narayan Guru belonged to a low caste in present day Kerala. He proclaimed the ideals unity of all people within one sect, a single caste and one God. By organizing these movements, the leader coming from low caste tried to create awareness amongst the lower castes.